Alright, last time we talked about how to find relative standing of something. Today we're going to talk about measures of center. It just means that when we have a data set, we're going to get a bunch of numbers. You're going to survey 100 people, 50 people, whatever. So we'll have a lot of numbers. And many times we'll just want one number to represent the whole data set instead of having 50 or 200 numbers. In that case, we'll use these things called measures of center. So we just want one number to represent the whole data set. Right? Let's say it's PCC. We have 20 to 30,000 students. So basically, if you want to pick one person to represent the whole PCC, what are different ways you can pick this person? This is what we're going to talk about today. So let's look at number one. It says sample. We have different things we can calculate. So, and we'll just talk about different notations they're going to be using. So sample mean, we're going to use X with a little bar on the top. So it's called X bar. And then population mean, again, means average. We'll use the symbol mu. It looks like this, kind of weird. It looks kind of like M, a little longer on the side. It's called mu, mu. It's a Greek letter. Sample size is N, and population size is big N. Sample size just means that how many people are surveyed in your sample, right? How many are surveyed in a sample, right? Here we're using the phrase mean. Mean is basically the same as the average, right? So mean here is same as average. Same as average. How do we calculate the mean, which is the average? Well, I'm sure you guys have seen it before at some point. You have 3 quizzes. How do I calculate the average quiz score? You basically add all 3 scores and divide by 3 because there are 3 quizzes. If we had 5 quizzes, then we'll add up all the scores and then divide that 5. So we add up all the data values. And you divide that by either sample size n or population size n. Depends on if your data set is from a sample or from a population. Okay? In our class, we'll most likely use a calculator to calculate that, so please see the other, refer to a separate link for the calculator function key.
As you can see, all the calculator functions linked separately. Notice the next one is the mode. How do you calculate the mode? Mode is the one that appears the most often.
Notice the next one is the mode. How do we calculate the mode? Mode means mode is the one that appears the most often. The value that occurs the most often. Mode is useful when we have qualitative data set. For example, like a lot of elections. Let's say you're voting for candidate A, candidate B. There's vote for candidate A, candidate B, blah, 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 right? Let's say this is election result. 4 people voted for candidate A, and then 2 people voted for candidate B. So basically, who won the election? Well, candidate A did, because candidate A received the most vote, means this person is the mode, right? So here we can say the mode is candidate A. So you can think of election. The way we choose the winner, basically we're choosing the mode. What measure is useful when you have qualitative data? So I just answered that. Mode. Here for the mode, for qualitative data set, we cannot really calculate the mean or the median because we cannot really arrange them in a certain order, or we cannot add them. What's A plus B divided by 2? Doesn't make sense. because that's how you calculate the mean. That's why mode is the most useful one for that. Number 5, which measure of center is very sensitive to outliers? That will be the mean. Because you have to calculate the mean, you're adding up a bunch of numbers. So when you have a big number, it's just going to change the mean a lot. Number 6, which measure of center is useful when you have outliers? So median. Because the median is going by a ranking. Just having one outlier doesn't change the median too much. Okay, I'm going to have you pause now and have you work on number 7. Okay, for number 8. A lot of cases, we're not going to give in raw data with bunch of numbers. We're going to give in a frequency table where data is organized. So to calculate the mean and the median, we have to kind of input our data slightly differently. So if you look at number 9, this is our data, but this is our frequency, right? So it's not just 0, there are 15 zeros, and so on and so forth. So weighted mean formula. So here, when the data is given as a frequency table, we'll input our data in L1 on your calculator, and we also want to input frequency as well. Frequency in L2 in our calculator. So when we use our 1-bar stats calculator function key, list will be our L1 and frequency list will be our L2. So this is in case we have our data organized in terms of frequency table. And when you're given our data even slightly more differently than frequency, it is frequency table, but here our list is not a single number. Like for number 9 is just 0, 1, 2, so on and so forth. For number 10, it's a range of numbers. But when we input our numbers in the calculator for L1, we just need to put, they just want one number to input it. So what we do is we'll take the midpoint of these two. What that means is I'm just going to take average of these ranges. So for the first one, it's 1.2 through 6.1. So what I'll do is I'll make a little side note here, 1.2 plus 6.1, and then I'll divide that by 2, and you'll get 3.65. So I'm going to put 3.65. So instead of having range from 1.2 to 6.1, I'm going to pick just one number to represent that, which is going to be 3.65, which is just the average. I think that's the most fair way to do it. And for the next question, we are given a graph instead of frequency tables. So here we can basically recreate a frequency table ourselves. So here we'll just make the frequency table from given graph, So oops, if I can write that. So what I'm trying to say is here we're given frequency here, and then we're given number of pets, right? So this is going to be my list. This is going to be the frequency. So here, let's see if I can figure this one out. So number of pets, and then frequency. So it ranges from 0 to 7. So they survey a bunch of people, and some people have 0 pet. I have 0 pet. Some people have 1 pet, and so on and so forth. And the highest number was 7. Oh my god, I need more space here. And frequency, how many people have? So I'm looking at this. I feel like this is just below 15, so maybe that's 14. So I'm going to write 14. That means 14 people have 0 pet. And if I look at the second bar, it's over here, over 5 or under 10, I feel like it's closer to 7. So I'm going to say 7, and so on and so forth, right? So maybe it's 3, 4, 2, 2, 0, and 1. So once I have that table, then this will be very similar question as number 9. Okay, these are my hints, and I'm going to have you finish the rest of the worksheet.